Good morning, my YouTube family and friends. I pray that everyone is having a blessed, beautiful Thursday. I always have to think about what day it is because this month is almost over and we're getting ready to march into March. So it's just, it's a lot. It's a lot going on for me and my family. Got a graduation coming up, high school graduation in May, and it's just a lot going on. It's a lot going on, but I wouldn't have it any other way. But just wanted to hop on here and share. I hope you guys can see me. The sun is shining. The SON sun is shining really bright this morning. But just wanted to hop on here and encourage somebody that trust God in every situation. You know, God reminded me early this morning to just trust Him. You know, there's so many songs we can listen to about trust Him. He's going to make a way, trust Him. He's going to open a door, trust Him. But you know, the truth of the matter is we have to honestly trust Him. We have to fully trust Him. We have to completely trust Him. We can't say we trust Him, you know, and we're half-heartedly trusting Him. We got to do it wholeheartedly. And so, Jesus knows. He knows our heart. He sees our heart. So, you know, you can't fool Him. And you could say you trust Him, but yet you're trying to do stuff on your own, or, you know. So we want to always make sure that we are in the holy will of Jesus, the holy will of God, and always know that He's fighting for us. I keep seeing that over and over and over. He's fighting for us. He, you know, all we have to do is be still, and be still does not mean don't do anything. It means to just trust Him. Trust Him in your heart. Trust that He's going to fight for you. He's going to make a way for you out of no way. And so, you know, I'm still learning because, you know, my relationship with Jesus is not new, but it's always been there. But now my belief in Him has been there forever. But my relationship, I'll say, is probably a year or so now because, or 2 years, going on 2 years now. But again, we have to trust Him because there are times when, you know, we don't even see a way. You know, we're trying to figure out how in the world is this situation going to work out? How in the world is, you know, how are you going to do it, Lord? You know, and the Lord is like, and I know I can only speak about myself, but with my life, it's like a puzzle. He may do 2 pieces. I'll say this. He may do 4 pieces, give me 4 pieces to the puzzle, and it's a big puzzle, a day, or He may do none. He may do 1, or He may do 10 in one day. You know, that's what I feel like right now, because I feel like, you know, I don't know what God is doing, but I trust Him. I do. I really do. And I know a lot of times I know to Him, it seems like I'm not fully trusting Him, but I am, because, and I believe He knows that, you know, even though, you know, because sometimes I want to, like, okay, I see a way. And so the enemy is he's so full of trickery. He'll present a situation to us where we can, you know, go and do something, and it seems like it's, you know, it's going to work out. And then we may get, I heard someone say, you'll get in the middle or toward the end of that situation, and then it just blows up in your face, literally. And you're like, oh, I thought that was really... And I'm going to share this because, you know, again, I like being transparent on this channel. I don't like to, you know, I'm over that point in my life where I was faking. And, you know, I've said this over and over, and I mean it. I really do mean it, because we have to get out of that place. You know, when we're pretending and putting on airs and trying to impress people, what good is that doing? It's not helping nobody. It's not helping the person. And it's sure not helping you. You're not helping yourself. You know, you're digging a deeper ditch for yourself. So we have to be honest, you know. And that's why when I talk to people, you know, I don't sugarcoat things. And a lot of them will look at me like, I guess they're like, why is she sharing that? But I'm sharing it so I can help them. You know, and I'm not ashamed of what God has brought me through and what He's bringing me through. You know, a lot of people, you know, well, I don't want to tell anybody that, or, you know, I don't think they need to know that. But truth is, they do. They do. God, you know, He doesn't bring us through situations for us to keep it to ourselves. He wants us to share it. And, you know, if you don't feel comfortable with sharing, I've shared this before. You know, the church we went to back in Tennessee, there would be testimony time, and it was some things I wanted to share, but yet I was sort of ashamed and embarrassed of what, yes, the Lord brought me through, but I didn't want people to know the ugly part of it. We want to get up and say, the Lord brought me through that situation. But we don't want to tell the mess the bad choices we made to get in that situation. We don't want to tell that part. So let me share this here real quick, short as I can make it. But I don't know if some of you remember, it was around getting ready. Well, it wasn't around this time last year, but it was getting close to it. But it was August, leading up to August of last year. So we had to move. We were moving from a house, a rental home, because we're still trying to get established here. So we moved from a rental home, and we were moving to a condo. That we stay in a condo now here. And so, we really liked that house, and I knew, the Lord had shown me we were not going to be there forever. It was just temporary. But of course, I didn't know truly how temporary it was going to be. So, I was studying the Word, I was praying, I was fasting, I was doing all of that. But I really thought I heard the Lord speak to me and say, August, we were going to move out. So, we were going to only stay there a year because we moved from there. But then, as I think back about it, even my children, they kind of sort of, we kind of talk to each other. And, one of my children said, Mom, were we supposed to leave? And because the reason I say that, is because the Lord, it was such a struggle. And anything God is a part of is smooth. It's order. It's no confusion. And so it was such a strain, to get moved out of that. Because for one, we had so much stuff. Because I was so happy. I shared that on here. I was so happy about getting us out of all our stuff out of a U-Haul, over 20 years accumulation just about. And I was just so happy to finally hang pictures up on walls and cook again, because we've been living in a hotel prior to that house. And I was just so excited. I was so excited. And so, we had a lot of furniture, new stuff, old stuff, in that house. And so it was just a struggle, y'all. It was a struggle to move. And as I think back on that now, I thought I heard, the Lord tell us to move in August. But now that I think about it, I don't know for sure if we were even supposed to leave in August. Maybe the Lord wanted us to stay until he did what else he was going to do for us. So it's neither here nor there. But again, I could write a book about what we went through, because it was really, it was tiring. It was a little stressful because, I had to get the job I was working with at then. I had to get off for 2 or 3 days because I was trying to get, we were trying to get moved, and it was a hassle. I'm just going to be honest. It was a big hassle. And, I was like, gosh, anything God, I kept thinking about that. Anything God is in is smooth. It's not a struggle. It's not a struggle. It's not tiring. It's not hard. It's none of that. It's easy because he goes before you and he makes a way out of no way. So, but then again, I just pray that I did make the right decision. And a lot of times, even if we don't make the right decision, God will quickly get us back on track, But I just, I was just thinking, sometimes, because we go back there where we used to live, and I think about that, and the kids, my children, they say, we had, because it was a pretty big house. But again, I knew that, we were not going to stay there. I knew it wasn't going to be a forever home. I knew that, I knew that right off the top. But it was just the fact that, a lot of times we need to just confirm and make sure. And again, I was fasting, I was praying, and I really felt like we were. And preferably I did make the right decision. But, we got to be careful, because the enemy will creep in, and he sees what, he knows there's something great for us ahead for us. So he'll creep in and try to get us to make a wrong choice or a bad turn. So, he can, just get us off track. And then, when you make, that's like in in real life. I mean, in our life, you go down the wrong street, and sometimes it takes a while to get back on track. If your GPS misguides you, or you take a wrong turn. And I've been there. When we first moved here to Colorado, I was like, gosh, I can't even find a place to turn around. So by me taking that wrong turn, that got me off track for maybe 10 to 15 minutes. But in our lives, it's even, it could be longer than that, because you're trying to get back on track, and you're like, okay, and then sometimes when you get off track, you're distracted. You're heavily distracted. So we just got to be careful with that, because we want to stay on track with God, and the way to stay on track with Him is to, fast and pray and ask Him to continuously lead us and guide us, and, just be there for us, because He's our GPS. He's our guide. We don't have to ask nobody. We don't have to stop and ask nobody. We can open up this holy book, and it tells us it's our instructions for our lives. It tells us everything we need to know. But again, trust God. Trust Him completely. Excuse me. Trust Him with everything that you have, because He really wants the best for us. He really does. And a lot of times it seems like He's forgotten us, and He said in His word He'll never leave us nor forsake us, and we have to take Him at His word. Sorry, my throat got a little tickle in it, so I had to get me some tea. So again, we got to be careful and making sure that we are trusting Him and following His lead, because He has only the best in mind for us. And a lot of times it feels like we know what's best, but we have no idea. We have no idea the greatness that lays ahead for us. And we can say, well, because we've all been there. We can say, well, this looks like this is going to really work out for me. This seems like this is going to be a good idea. And then, like I said, you'll get halfway through it, if not to the end of it, or almost to the end of it, and it's like, oh man, I shouldn't have did that. I should have waited. I should have thought about that before I made that decision. Because sometimes our bad decisions can cost us everything. So we gotta be careful with that. We really do, because we don't want to get ahead of God, and we don't want, we're not God. No, we're not. But we want Him. If we say that we're His children, we need to wait on Him. We need to follow His lead. So, and how we follow His lead is reading His word, praying, fasting, and asking Him to show us the way. And He will. He'll show us the way. But again, I've said it before, but I am so thankful to be here in this new state that we've never resided in before. I'm just grateful. I tell everybody when I get a chance, whether I'm at work or wherever, I try to share my testimony, because, it not only helps me and encourages me, it makes me remember how far God has brought me. And, I can remember, I've shared this too, but my children, they say, my big children, they say, Mom, it seemed like we were at our best, when we were in Tennessee. And I said, nope, we were at our worst. And they kind of look at me crazy, funny, because like, what is Mama saying? But it's the truth. Anytime that you don't ever, when you're not following the Lord the way you should be, when you're not doing anything that you're supposed to be doing regarding Jesus, when you're not reading His word, when you're not you're trying to you're pleasing people every day, you're not at your best. You're not at your best. So now it's the opposite. We're actually, we're following His lead. We're following Christ's lead. We're doing what He's telling us to do. We're doing our best every day. And that's what I remind them of. I say, the good times, the barbecue, dinners, the fish dinners, the going over someone's house, ha ha ha, all that was no good, because it was not bringing us closer to Jesus. It was fun. It was, family, whatever. But, I would rather follow Jesus than follow traditions or follow, something I've been doing for years and years and still no change. That's what we have to think about. It's good to have fun, and I believe Jesus wants us to live a happy and fun life, but he also wants us to give him the glory in all that we do. And if you find yourself not giving him glory and honor and praise and whatever you're doing, then you need to stop doing it, because that means that you're not you've gotten off track. So we have to be careful with that, and I say it all the time, share the word of Jesus with somebody, and I've God has given me that opportunity. People come, and talk to me at work. I can be in a store, I could be wherever, get my oil change. I'm trying to look for an opportunity, and sometimes, I know, when, okay, don't say anything, just be quiet. Sometimes, but there are other times where the opportunity presents itself, and I'm like, yes, Jesus answered my prayer, and I'm just so happy, because I'm like, I just want to help somebody, because there are people that are hurting, and I say it, and I just keep on saying it. There are people around you that they just need an encouraging word. You may not know all of the Bible. I don't know all of the Bible. I don't know everything, but I do know what God has brought me through. So I know that I can share that with somebody. I know I can help somebody. I know I can encourage somebody. I know I can bring some type of joy to somebody's day, versus, because I used to be in a place where, I would go to work. This is when we were back in Tennessee, and how some people you come in agreement with what they're saying. They say, oh, I'm so broke. Yeah, I know it. Me too. And you're coming in agreement with that. You're not speaking life over yourself. Or either they'll say, I'm just having a bad day. And I actually just did that yesterday, and and I was like, and I caught myself after the fact. But we got to be careful in what we come in agreement with. We really do, because that's not God's will for our lives. To be speaking negativity over our lives. Speak positivity. Go and tell somebody, hey, you know what? You blessed me the other day, or you encourage somebody. And watch how it ain't about how it makes the other person feel, but watch how it make you feel. Going around throwing out nuggets, positive nuggets, positive nuggets, instead of all this negativity. I think that's what's wrong with the world today. Nobody's pouring into anybody. And some people, they're unable to pour into anybody because they don't have anything to pour. They have nothing to pour. They need to be poured into. So that's where we come in at. So again, I just pray that you all, I pray that this word was encouraging. It was on my heart to share. I pray that you always seek the Lord's face and do whatever he tells you to do, even if that means uncomfortable, if that means out of place, if that means, all alone, whatever it means. But we're never alone because we have Jesus. But, if he tells you to do something, to change your job, to leave, where your house, to sell your house, whatever he tells you to do it. Just do it. Don't think twice about it. And who cares what people think? Who cares what they say? Because while they're trying to judge you and worry about what you're doing, God is telling them something. God is telling them to do something that they're not doing, most likely. So that's why they're so against what you're saying. So don't worry about that. We don't answer to man. Man, all of us answer to God. So don't be frightened by what man says, because a lot of times the people who are trying to give you advice, the people who are trying to so-called steer you away, they don't even know the way they're supposed to go. That's when the Lord has shown me that too. Like in my family, I was so at one time in my life, I was so into what somebody, my family, what they thought about me, or what they, their advice. But then the Lord showed me they're not even doing what I'm telling them to do. So you're going to them and for advice, and they're not even doing what they're supposed to do. So that doesn't even go together. That's what I'm saying. We have to be careful. We have to be careful who we're going to. We go to everybody else but Jesus. We go to Jesus last when everything flops in our face. That's when we go to him. But we're supposed to go to him first. So again, I pray that you always hear Jesus speaking through me and not just me. I pray that you have a beautiful, beautiful, blessed day. In Jesus' name, I pray that every prayer that you have ever prayed to the Lord, that he answers the prayer according to his holy and perfect will for your life. I pray that the Lord will continue to encamp his holy angels around you and your family day and night to watch over you, to protect you, guide you, strengthen you, be there for you. And as always, I love you, but remember, Jesus loves you so much more. Thank you all so much for listening. Thank you for subscribing to this channel. Thank you for just being who God created you to be. Have a blessed day. Bye.